All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of the Jake Fletcher Show. Today, I'm going to be talking to you all about LASIK surgery, what my experience was with it. Is it a good idea? Should you consider it? And I'm going to explain to you why LASIK surgery changed my life. So, first things first, there's a cool story around it. I actually won a contest. Um, I went to a SuperCon, which is, if anybody's not familiar, it's a conference for people who are really into comics and anime and just sci-fi, fantasy type stuff, which, guilty as charged. I'm like a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I've read the books multiple times. I've even read the Silmarillion. So I'm at SuperCon. I see this booth that's like LASIK surgery, and I'm not sponsored by the LASIK place that did my surgery, so I'm not gonna shout their name out or anything. But if anybody wants to know, you can DM me, Instagram at jake.miami, whatever. But I have no problem sharing it. But basically, so I see this booth. I'm like, oh, LASIK surgery, cool. Let me go fill out a little form, right? And it's one of those things where you never expect that you're gonna actually win, right? But that was the weekend. Come Monday, I get a call from somebody, random number. I pick it up and they're like, oh, is this Jake Fletcher? And I'm like, yeah, it is. Oh, this is such and such from the LASIK Vision Institute. And I was like, shut up, no way. So basically, I won $1,000 to go towards my LASIK surgery. And at the time, that was a lot of money to me. $1,000 is still a lot of money, but it was like, holy shit, I won $1,000 to LASIK. I didn't know how much LASIK was going to cost, but I figured, shit, that's got to cover most of it, right? Um, so I go and have my LASIK consultation. Still super ecstatic that I finally won something in life, right? And I go and they're actually also having a 20% off or something at the same time. So I won the contest. I get the 20% off. I do the consultation. I had like a -2 and -2.5 prescription at the time. So it's not like my eyes were super bad, but definitely I needed glasses and contacts all the time. I used to wear the silhouette frame or frameless glasses, and I have an astigmatism as well. So anyways, all this to say, I ended up paying under $3,000 for the total cost of the LASIK surgery. I think it ended up being like $2,500 or $2,700 total. And I put down like a down payment, and then I was able to finance the rest. And that's how that whole side of it worked with the finances. The surgery itself was incredibly short. I mean, it's amazing that in like a 10 or 15 minute surgery, your entire life can be changed forever. I had 20/20 vision almost immediately, later on after the surgery, not the same day your eyes are a little blurry, but the next day I woke up, 20/20 vision, boom. And actually, it took about a year or so, but I ended up ultimately getting to 20/10 vision, which supposedly is very rare. Only like a few percent, like 3% of people end up getting better than 20/20 vision. Like 80 something percent of people end up getting 20/20 vision. I don't know if those are the exact right percentages. That's what I remember them telling me. But feel free to fact check me. But yeah, I had 20/20 vision like right afterwards the next day. And then within a year, I had gotten to 20/10 vision. And it sounds like a little thing, but when you wake up in the morning and you don't have to look for your glasses, or you don't have to put on contacts, and have to worry about if maybe you folded one of the contacts and it scratches your eye, or it feels uncomfortable or something, or maybe you drop a contact and you just wasted a whole contact, or the contacts get old and they get like protein buildup or whatever, and it makes your eyes uncomfortable, or God forbid the contact gets ripped and then it's like scratching your cornea and stuff. You have to take it out real quick and put in another. So there's all this hassle, and then glasses are expensive and all this stuff. So all these little things added up to me really being appreciative that I had LASIK surgery, really being appreciative that I won that contest, because I probably wouldn't have gotten it otherwise. But I can honestly tell you, if I knew then before I won that contest, what I know now, I would have gotten LASIK surgery years before. And, I would have paid full price, but it would have been worth it, honestly, because the quality of life improvement from it is just incredible. It's just, like I said, it's so much more convenient. I also feel more confident at times because, just not having glasses on your face it makes things easier. Like, you don't have to worry about getting hit in the face with a basketball if you're playing basketball, or at the gym, worry about something hitting your glasses and stuff like that. And I feel like I look better too without glasses, from a confidence perspective. That also plays into it as well. And I think that it's just overall, between having better vision, the confidence, the convenience, the fact that really, for me at least, it didn't end up being that crazy of a cost. From what I understand, it probably would have been closer to $4,000 if I hadn't had the $1,000 plus the 20% off. But they're always running specials at these LASIK places. So if you're considering it, highly, 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 highly recommend it. There were downsides though, and I want to talk about those too, because I don't want this to just seem like I'm like shilling for the LASIK industry or something like that. But yeah, there were downsides, definitely. Like I said, that first day when I had the surgery, I was like I was out. It was not a pleasant feeling the way my eyes felt. They were super uncomfortable. I pretty much was just like napping for the rest of that day. The next day when I woke up, my eyes were still a little scratchy and uncomfortable, but at least I had good vision, and it was a quick recovery process though. What I will say, to get to the 90% better was the next day. Next day I felt 90 something percent better. For the scratching to totally stop was a few days. There was on the third day, after the surgery, there was still very, very minor scratchy eye, but really not bad. I was using these medicated drops, etc. And they tell you certain drops that you're supposed to use. I used the drops that they recommended to me for a while, but eventually I felt I don't know, the silicone or something in the drops was starting to kind of build up, and it was making my eyes get more dry than they probably should have been. So I switched to some other drops. I've tried a lot of different drops now in the 3 years because for some people, I understand it's probably different. For other people, like myself, I had to use drops for a long time afterwards. I'm talking pretty much the first year after, I used drops every single day. For the 6 months after that, I used drops maybe every other day. After a year and a half, though, I got down to using drops maybe 2-3 times a week. Now it's been 3 years since I had the LASIK surgery, and I barely ever use drops. I use eye drops maybe once a week at most, but honestly, I feel like it's probably more a couple times a month. Which honestly, in all honesty, it is more than I used to use eye drops, because I didn't used to ever need eye drops. So if you're somebody who might be considering LASIK and you already get dry eyes, you might want to consider that. Maybe consult the doctor, see if they think that it'll make your dry eye thing worse. But I didn't have any dry eye at all before I had the surgery. After the surgery, I did experience having dry eyes for a year and a half, like I said. Nowadays, it's, maybe once a week max, more a couple times a month, like I said. Sometimes I feel like I go a couple months or more without even using eye drops. So it could also be related to seasonal stuff. But that's definitely one of the downsides. And like I said, I tried a billion different eye drops. I had issues with some of them. Some of them were great, some of them not so much. But yeah, it was a year and a half pretty much of steady drops. And I still keep drops around, but nowadays, I buy some drops and it lasts me forever, and I just have drops on hand. One kind of nice thing about the company that I went through, which they require you, so there's a warranty thing where you're supposed to go every year to get a checkup, and if you do that, then the warranty lasts for life. So if anything ever happens with your eyes as far as the LASIK surgery goes, later on down the road, if they need to do a little tune-up or something, then that covers it. But you have to go every year. However, of course, the pandemic happened, and they were actually really reasonable. They were like, hey, look, we know people aren't wanting to come into doctor's offices since the pandemic and stuff. So, we're waiving that rule to the warranty for now. I need to go do a follow-up because I haven't gone in like 2 years, but hopefully they're still honoring that. You know, maybe I'll show them this podcast, tell them that I shouted them out, to some people if they try to say they won't. But I'm pretty sure they're being cool about it because that's what they told me. They said, while the pandemic's going on, we're going to waive that rule. So hopefully they're still doing that. Another thing too that was interesting, not necessarily like a downside, but just like a side note, was, like I said, within a couple days, like the next day I had 20/20 vision. But like I mentioned before, now I have 20/10 vision, which is twice as good. Like what people can read. I don't know how it goes. It's like you can read 20 point font or something from 20 meters away, and I can read 10 point font from 20 meters away. So anyways, my eyes are crispy, son. Like I can see like the veins on the leaves like way up in the treetops. It's insane. And that process took, going from 20/20 to 20/10 vision, took about a year. It was about at the end of the first year. But like I said, it was basically 20/20 immediately. Only a few % of people even get to that 20/10 or 20/15. So, don't have that expectation, but at least for me, I was very, very fortunate to get all the way up to the, down to the 20/20, 20/10 range from 20/20. But yeah, if you're thinking about getting LASIK, highly, 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 highly recommend. It changed my life forever. It changed my life for the better. My quality of life is better. My life is more convenient. Less time worrying about glasses and my contacts and discomfort. More confident in situations where I don't have to worry about glasses getting hit on my face. It costs me less over time. Because gosh, you spend maybe $500 a year on glasses and exams and all that stuff when you have glasses, depending on your eye prescription. But yeah, it's just so much better quality of life overall. Highly recommend the LASIK surgery. And like I said, I'm not sponsored, but if anybody wants to know the name of the company that did it for me, they're a national brand. The doctor that I did it with had done like something like 100,000 of these surgeries. So I felt like, okay, and he had like a 99.7% success rate. And they'd said that really you're not supposed to smoke after the surgery, and like the 0.3% are people who like smoke cigarettes and stuff right after they get eye surgery, and the smoke goes in their eyes. And then, I don't know why someone would do that, but I guess people do. Some 0.3%. But anyways, man, that's this episode. There's a greater moral to this, which is be willing to invest in yourself. Be willing to invest in things that are going to upgrade your life, whether they be small or big. If at the end of the day, something's going to save you time or increase your quality of life, the convenience of your life in a way that makes that expenditure worth it, don't hesitate, man. Nowadays, if something's going to save me time or make my life better or more convenient, I'm all in. How much does it cost? Let's go, And so, that's the greater moral, is be willing to invest in yourself. Be willing to look at things a little bit differently than you might normally look at things. And if it's something that's like a little expensive, but it's an investment in yourself that's going to pay you back throughout time, like in my case, for the rest of my life. Now I have perfect vision until I get older, and then it doesn't correct like when you get older and need like reading glasses and stuff. It doesn't like fix that, because that's a different thing entirely. But for the rest of my life, I have good vision. So, if there's something that's going to affect your life drastically, don't hesitate to invest in yourself. You're worth it. Okay. So that's the Jake Fletcher Show for this week, guys. Make sure, if you're listening or watching on YouTube, just go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Ring the notification bell. Share this episode with somebody who might be considering getting LASIK, and that really helps us grow the channel, which we want to bring bring more content to people. And yeah, if you're listening on another platform, we would love a review, 5-star review from you, or subscribe, follow, whatever it is. And we'll catch you guys next time. Until then, sell smart, buy bold. Peace.